And it was a rather significant event this week when Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson was voted in and confirmed by the Senate to be the next Supreme Court justice when Justice Breyer steps down. So what do you make of the process that led to her being chosen, confirmed, and what impact will she have on the Supreme Court? And Mike, we'll start with you.
I think, I mean, obviously at this point, if we assume that we have a split between kind of a more liberal and more conservative ideologies, it's still a 6-3 split. If we listen to any of them, and any of those folks who've gone through and been confirmed, they all talk about how they actually take all of the cases on the merits as they come before them, and they really don't use that ideological split that we try to put them in the buckets of. But nevertheless, so I'm not necessarily sure that how that does or doesn't hold. But I think that Judge Jackson presents just another perspective. And I think that that's really important, that for a long time, we've had the perspective of white men. We have been able to work, and now we have more women on the Supreme Court, which I think is fabulous. To have an African-American woman, I think, presents a perspective that has not been represented. And she brings a viewpoint like all of the other justices do, from a place that others haven't been that preceded her. And so I think it's exciting to be able to see how that perspective that she brings will influence the courts in years to come. If no other reason, just because we now have a different perspective at the table than has been there previously. And I think you see a lot of others behind her who say, wait a minute, I could aspire to that too in a way they didn't previously.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Mark?
Well, I think judicial philosophy is more determinate than sort of the background of an individual. Mm-hmm. Clarence Thomas is clearly a conservative, and that's probably the sort of dominant influence on the way he reaches decision. My observation, I mean, it is a 6-3 court. There's always an opportunity. I think Justice Scalia reflected it of, his dissents over a long period of time resonated over time and helped develop the law. Now, they were dissents, but he also laid out a vision for where the law might go in the future. And that is, frankly, I think also an opportunity for Justice Jackson to lay out a vision for the court, and whether or not she's on the winning side, and the amount of horse treading that does take place on these decisions. It's also an opportunity for her to kind of lay the foundation for the law into the future. We'll see how she does it. If that's an approach that she ends up taking.
Well, I think, again, echoing both of your sentiments. I mean, I think it is a landmark achievement to have the first African-American woman. Although we kind of, I think, overemphasize race and gender in a lot of this stuff, because as Mark pointed out, I think judicial philosophy is certainly much more important is that determining how they're going to rule. We have to wrap it up here. When we come back, parting shots.